Well, you heard last year about the blood, and the year before about the four blood moon scare, and maybe something actually did happen because we don't realize it here in the United States. But as far as last year in September of 2015, they're expecting a big crash of all the markets in the United States. But I can tell you globally, markets have been crashed. They have been suppressed greatly. There's already problems going on a global fashion, just not here in the United States, at least on the surface. That's one thing. And usually it's within a year of the fourth blood moon that there's a catastrophic event or something, usually relating to Israel. Now, I know there was some positive things that happened in 1948. Israel was established. That was around the time of the fourth blood moon. Also, the Six-Day War, where Israel kicked some ass. Now, I don't know what the hell if there's something coming up, and now I do believe there is something coming up, partly because of the Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones were erected on March 22nd, 1980. Now, that's not the date I assigned to it, but that's what it states right on the stones. 3/22/1980. Now, 322 is a very significant number in itself because it's occultist, but also from 1980 to 2016 is 36 years. 6 times 6, and if you add up all the integers from 1 to 36, it's 666. It's got 666 written all over it, the number 36 years. It may mean something, it may not mean nothing. And, you might be counting the number of flies out by a barbecue, and you'll see 6666 or something, and it doesn't really mean the burger is bad. That's another thing. Just to give you a stupid example, I don't really. Sometimes you can read too much into this stuff, but I do know that the occultists do run the world, and they're heavy into the numbers. That's not a conspiracy theory. The cultists do run the world, and they're heavy into the numbers. These Georgia Guidestones written in multiple languages, like the first one says, keep humanity below 500 million in perpetual balance in nature. And second one I think is something like guide reproduction wisely, increasing diversity and fitness. And I think the last ones, I know there's some other ones like, get rid of petty rulers and all this kind of garbage, petty bureaucrats. The last one is leave room for nature, leave room for nature. Be not a cancer on the earth. Yeah, that's interesting. That again, foretells a greatly reduced human population. Now, I know there was a time, was it a couple years ago, they had a little block that was placed up in one of here, in a corner here, and everybody was trying to figure it out. JAM was on it. Somebody was saying, Judgment of Mankind. MM, I'm just doing this right from the hip because I remember, I don't really buy in all this stuff. I kind of look at it obliquely. But I do think there's more to it than what they're saying, the ones that explain it away. MM was possibly Master Mason. Another thing on there, it also had the numbers 8 and 14. And it had a 16 on it. It had an 8, a 14, and a 16. Now, they weren't like they're on one of the sides of the blocks. There was an 8, there was a 14, and a 16. Now, some people thought it was 8, 16, 14. 2014, August 16th, 2014. Well, it could be August 14th, 2016. And that would be this Sunday. That happens to also be the 8th day of Av. Now, I'm showing on here a picture of 322. Just to get back to the issue with 322, these Georgia Guidestones were erected on 3/22/1980. 322 is a skull and bones number. I don't know, forgot what the heck why they use that, but skull and bones is basically the senior sorority. In other words, all the other sororities in colleges, they start in freshman year. This one starts, I think, in junior and senior year. Pretty much all the top bigwigs come from it. John Kerry, George Bush, I don't know, Harriman, a lot of people. I think Truman was in there. They're the rulers and movers and shakers of the United States. And, that's their number, 322, which is the skull and bones. Now, also this guy, Ted Christensen, that gave the $20 million to erect the Georgia Guidestones, Might have been, well, I think it was R.C. Christensen, excuse me. It might have been Ted Turner, possibly, because, Ted Turner openly says the population of the Earth should be 300 million or below. He's saying below 500 million. Now, I don't know, hey, food for thought. I know YouTube loves these videos, man. I actually put something out, and I know, man, I could tell you what the biggest touchy subject is. Don't ever mention the I word, which is this. Don't ever mention that word. It's the I word, because I tell you, the government's behind them. That's definite. Anytime you mention that word, your videos are like automatically you ain't gonna make a nickel on them. I already figured that out. Instantly, I mentioned nukes and the I word together from information that came from the senior editor for the Veterans Times. He supposedly got that info. I'm going to say it's the I word. I'm not even mention it anymore. But it's Veteran Times. I think what was his name? Gordon Duff. Is that what his name was? He said he got information from intelligence sources and also verified by Israeli intelligence that the I word, I, has 3 nukes in the United States that are 1 kiloton each. They're stronger than dirty bombs. They're not as strong as weapons grade. They're called, in layman's terms, fizzle bombs. I don't know. Now, on the 8th of Av, has been a day of massive problems for Israel. That was also the destruction of the temple by the Romans. Um, I wish Julian the emperor lived later on. He was an emperor that came about later on. He was going to rebuild the temple. He was going against the Parthians. As a matter of fact, he was wounded personally. He was wounded by personally leading an attack against the Parthians, present-day Iraqis, and he died. Then Rome abandoned the project of helping the Jews to rebuild the temple that Rome had destroyed years earlier from that time. I wish Julian did freaking live. That's something I could tell you right now. But I don't know if this is going to happen. It's just food for thought because, if it doesn't happen, fine. It don't happen, good. But, we're about a year away from the 4th blood moon, right? That was like September of 2015. We're less than a year, just about a year away. We're 11 months away. We're within that time frame where something bad's supposed to happen. They do have on the stones, one side says 8, one side says 14. That one block that was stuck in the Georgia Guidestone, one side said 8, one side said 14, one said 16. I don't know if that means August 14th, 2016, but that happens to be the 8th day of Av, which is destruction of the temple. I think it was also the day that Joseph Goebbels gave the order about or something, recommendation or something about killing the Jews and doing the Holocaust. There was something with the Nazis on that date also. I don't remember specifically because this is really getting down a rabbit hole with the conspiracy theories, but it may be something to it too. And considering this is only what is it, Wednesday, going almost Thursday, and we're talking this Sunday. Well, we'll find out. Okay, we'll find out. Now, I also want to mention something else. I think there's going to be massive global depopulation for another reason, whether we have these Illuminati occultists doing this stuff or what. I think it's going to have a lot to do with the weather. I've actually mentioned many times in this channel about the upcoming mini ice age, which will bottom out in around 2035 or so, maybe even up to 2060. Nobody really knows, but it's going to take another 20 years before it even gets down to the absolute bottom. We're going to know, though, and it's already been known, and even in the southern hemisphere, like, this winter, which is summer in the northern hemisphere, but winter in the southern hemisphere. I mean, they're having some hellacious records going on. But whatever. I know people believe it or not, but you know what? Reality has a way of catching up to the situation. Hey, you don't believe it? Fine. I mean, I don't know what the hell you're not going to stop, the sun's output from changing, whether that happens or not. You just get prepared for it. What is going on is if it does happen, we're going to have greatly reduced agricultural output due to shorter growing seasons. The frost coming on quicker, and during the wintertime, and frost staying with us longer, where you can actually start planting crops. And, it may also, we may also be going into what we call the major ice age. Now, that nobody can really predict, but we are 500 years late on it because it's like every, I think it's, we're like 500 years late on it already. And if you look at this chart, this is interesting because, we live in like a little microcosm out here. You can't even see on this chart the mini ice ages barely. There's like, this is going back, this is 50,000 years over here, 100,000 years. We don't even know what the hell happened back there. I mean, there could have been a flourishing civilization during this peak right up here where it was much warmer than it is today. Most of the earth could have been like very farmable and, lots of teeming with life. This is probably back when the dinosaurs were around or something. Probably that's what happened. And, it just lasts for a little while. It just lasts for a little while. Most of the time, most of the earth was covered in ice. Not all the earth, but you would have to live fairly close to. You couldn't live anywhere in North America. Most of North America would be covered in ice. You're talking about not the mini ice ages, but the major ice ages. We're 500 years late on that. I don't know if these Illuminati know this kind of crap because, they're telling us global warming, but I know that's freaking BS. I mean, it's flat out total BS. They know this. It's a fact that carbon dioxide doesn't drive climate change or make the earth warmer. It's the fact that the sun drives the temperature of the earth, which makes the earth warmer. The sun has ebbs and flows of energy. Sometimes it goes weaker, sometimes it goes stronger. When it goes stronger, the earth gets warmer, there's more plant life, there's more carbon dioxide. So warming drives life, and life drives carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide does not drive the climate. No, it's the other way around. The climate's driving carbon dioxide. That is why there's that relationship. But it's not, they're putting the cart before the horse instead of the horse before the cart. In their logic, Al Gore, you're an idiot. But anyway, this could be something coming up too. And the thing is, it's combined with absolute massive population growth. Unprecedented. It's like, geez, the age of the city-states, population looked like it was going way the hell up. Then you had the age of empires, the population going up. And you had medieval times, and all of a sudden we had discovery of coal, steam engines, electricity, gas and oil, fertilizer, blah. And now we got robotic freaking farms, We got Google car tractors farming and tilling the land. So, I don't know, how all that's going to work out if the damn mini ice age or maybe the major ice age is upon us. They're never going to be able to feed all the people. And actually, nutrition is very much related to your resistance to disease. Oh, big time to the max. So, doom and gloom, right? Sorry. But, anyway, I think this is coming up, man. I really do. I'm putting this out mainly because of August 14th, 2016. We shall see. Well, come Monday, nothing happens. It was BS. It's a rumor that's going around the internet right now, Maybe it's all, I don't know if it is. It's what the hell I know. It is the 8th half, though. It is the 8th half, and I know the senior editor for Veterans Today said that the big I, the I word, has got a few nukes in the United States. I don't know. And he also said, and I hate saying this shit because, people, I don't really believe it. I'm just saying it's just food for thought. That's really what the hell it is. There's this other technology I know the Russians use, remote viewing, to predict the future, to see things on the other side of the world they can't see. Some of their remote viewing that was done by some other people said there's going to be a major nuclear attack in August of freaking 2016. A terrorist one. I don't know. We shall find out. We shall find out. I know one thing. The big YT Google app operation doesn't like you saying this shit at all. And I'm like, why? If it's just a bunch of bullshit, don't worry about it, man, Or is it something that's not supposed to be told to people? I don't know. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Tell you the truth, I wish I was up in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee right now. Ugh. I really do. So anyway, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it, doing research. But yeah, I think there's something to some of these things. Um, and if you don't believe it, fine, you don't believe it. But it's almost like religion. Um, there's a lot of things in religion just you really can't prove. There's signs, there's things that people's. I mean, can you actually? I know they'll say, "Oh yeah, we could prove it because it's written down in a book," but you really can't prove religion. It's an opinion. It's kind of like, I mean, yeah, it's got circumstantial evidence and things, but you can't flat out prove it. Prove it. There's no video recording of the time of Christ and stuff like this, and or whatever Moses and Abraham and Noah. You know, the weather stations didn't tell you what was going on back when the flood was happening. Though I could tell you a lot about some of that stuff. I'll just ad lib on here and go to even longer. I know like the atheists sure hate telling me saying this, but and I'm not really religious. I'm not religious at all. I don't even go to church or nothing. But I know there's a lot of scientific things that dovetail into a lot of Bible stories, and one of them like is the flood. Did you know that the Sphinx in Egypt, which is near the pyramids of Giza, the Great Pyramids of Giza, shows definite evidence of flood damage? No doubt about it. As a matter of fact, the flood damage is irrefutable on a Sphinx. So how the hell did it get there in the middle of the desert? There's a flood, major flood damage. The other thing is on the Great Pyramids of Giza, the casing stones which are missing, which were used to build Cairo with. There's archaeologists who are politically incorrect, by the way, who are stating that those casing stones were not mined off the pyramids themselves. They were actually strewn all about the desert due to them being blown off the outside of the Great Pyramids and scattered about the desert by a cataclysmic event that occurred across the earth. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of evidence to show that there was construction right in the middle of construction of major um, pyramids in South America or temples that was halted right in midstream. You would see a stone being, 50 tons or more being quarried from a quarry, another stone maybe 50 to 100 tons being moved to a location, and you could see the construction progress ongoing, and it was halted right there. It looks like there was a cataclysmic event that occurred at that time. Now, it could be the Noah event, because actually the Great Pyramids hint at something else. Either they were not built by dummies, they were not built by primitive people rolling around um, blocks of granite, or whatever it is, on logs. They were built with an accuracy so refined that you need laser surveying instruments to measure how precise they are. You cannot measure the precision of the Great Pyramids with an optical surveying instrument. It's actually far more accurate than what an optical surveying instrument can measure. You need a laser surveying instrument, which tells you these pyramids were built by people highly sophisticated, more sophisticated than we are today, likely. What happened to them? Some people might say they were aliens, but you know what I say? They weren't aliens. They were humans, and they were destroyed in the flood by Noah. That actually happened. As a matter of fact, the in China, in China, not like 500 feet down, or I mean it's hundreds of miles down. There's a ocean larger than the Arctic Ocean beneath China. It's not pure liquid, but it's mostly liquid. It's in the transition zone. But if you look deep into the Bible, it says not only was there 40 days and 40 days and 40 nights of rain during the flood, but the earth opened up and let forth its waters from deep inside the earth. Now, this has been pretty much proven that there are oceans beneath land in China, for instance, possibly even in the United States, possibly everywhere in the world. I don't know, but it's not like 100% liquid ocean, but mainly liquid, but very, very deep down, very, very deep down. But maybe this did happen. I don't know. I don't know. So I mean, some of the stuff in the Bible may be dead on balls accurate, even though it sounds crazy to the average person, because it seems like maybe they're just talking of like giving you a metaphor, but maybe they're not. But then, if you look at everything else, maybe it is dead on balls accurate. Maybe we are in the end times. And I'm telling you this as an objective, common sense person, just looking at it, not like, oh, I believe, I believe, I believe, and all this kind of garbage. I mean, I'm looking at it kind of objectively. We possibly really are in the end times. I don't know. And, if that's the case, the bad guys are going to lose, but there's going to be a lot of people dead. And it's probably because of all the sinning that's going on. You see, I know YouTube's going to love this, but, you see all the homosexuality, lesbianism, transgender stuff, and, promiscuity, and a lot of stuff going on throughout the United States. Pretty much could be punishment from God. Now, if you look at the message of Fatima, from October 13th, 1917, which will be, 100 years from now will be October 13th, 2017. You also look at that message, it says that Russia would be the instrument by which mankind is chastised for its sins. Not that Russia is going to be the bad guy, it was just that Russia will be the instrument that will chastise mankind for its sins. And if you look at what's going on with the election with Hillary Clinton, which are quite obvious that even though most of the public's not behind her, the big evil freaking apparatus is behind her, and she gets elected, I'll guarantee you we're going to World War III. But in the meantime, there might be something set up coming up here. I don't know. I mean, this could be wrong. I mean, it's pure guesswork, baby. I mean, what the hell do I know? You think I freaking know the future? And the other thing is, YT is probably going to get pissed off at me for doing this. And every time I'm like, I'm not even acting that serious about this shit, trying to scare people. I don't even know why they're getting mad at me. Jesus, man. This video is a great video. Anyway, 322. 3 plus 2 plus 2. Great. 7. I like that number. That's one of my favorite numbers. Maybe that's where they got the 7 from. Anyway. Actually, I'm a number 7 by numerology. Yeah. That's a good one to be, actually, to tell you the truth. So, when you get your birthday and all that kind of shit. Anyway. And I ain't going to say what my birthday is, so to hell with it. But my birthday does fit multimedia because I like to talk and I got a lot of different interests. I can tell you that right now. So, anyway. Give you a hint, I'm a twin, right? So, anyway, what's going to happen? Only the shadow knows, right? Only the shadow knows. In some ways, I kind of almost wish something would happen. Got that little evil mind of mine. But in other ways, I don't. Actually, I tell you the truth, if something happens, I wish it just falls on a stupid government. My thing is this. I'm so fed up with this excessive freaking government. Like, it's like they're all over the place. If you try to go fishing in a pond someplace, you got the agents out there like, yeah, you got your license. You're cruel to the fish. You got a regulated pole. I mean, holy shit, man. I mean, they're out there. I mean, I wish if something catastrophic happened, I wish it happened only to the people that work for the government, and the private sector just thrives and does everything great. Tell you the truth, man. I'm more fed up with these government yo-yos, man. And Mr. YouTube and Mrs. YouTube, don't gig me for this shit. Man, you guys are getting ridiculous. God. I do this for fun, man. You know what I mean? This is cool. I like doing this YouTube shit. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think there's something bad coming up. I don't know what exactly, I mean, I don't want it falling on my head, that's for sure. But anyway, over and out. But like I said, here just a rehash. It's 36 years from the erection of the Georgia Guidestones, 1980 to 2016. 36 is the 666 number. You add up all the integers, 666. when they stuck that little block in there a couple years ago with the Master Mason. I don't know if that means anything. If that was stand for that, or JAM, Judgment of Mankind, maybe that doesn't mean that either. That had an 8, it had a 14 and a 16. Some people said August 14th, August 16th, 2014. It might be August 14th, not 2016, which is the 8th of Av, which is a very, very important date in the Jewish calendar for destruction of Israel. Also, when the Nazis gave the edict about, killing the Jews. And I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And it's also within a year of the 4 blood moons. I don't know. But then we had the big scare with 2020, 2012 in the Mayan calendar, you know. And, what about the Hopi Indian thing with when the Gulf was spewing oil. Remember that? Oh, it was in a Hopi Indian prophecy that the oceans would all turn black and, the oil's coming out of the Gulf. Nothing happened. They put Corexit in it and they fixed it, right? Yeah, right. I'm drinking Corexit right now. It's very healthy for me. As long as you have baking soda with it, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. So food for thought. I got curious about this shit. I looked into it, but I can only look into it so much because I don't know. But considering that, hey, it's almost Thursday, and the 8th of Av is Sunday, and we got the big eye with the nuke, supposedly, according to the guy that's the senior editor from Veterans Today. I don't know. And he says it's going to be August. They're going to go blow him up or some shit. I don't know. We shall find out. We shall find out. In the meantime, don't worry about it. I'm just because whatever happens, happens, man. Whatever happens, what happens. It may be not the time to visit a major city. It may not be a time, to visit the Hoover Dam or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? If you're just at home and you're not worried about it, don't worry about it. That's what I say. Okay, over and out.